There have always been theories about Laffitte, and even I made one months ago because he is one of the most mysterious characters in all of One Piece. But I believe the current chapter revealed details that make a lot of things more clear. Of course, when we talk about characters like Rocks or Laffitte, everything eventually leads back to Teach, so I want to start by talking about Blackbeard. It's always fun to see the childhood drawings of the characters from Oda because he always adds a little details that reveal something about them. I tried to look through every childhood drawing Oda has made, and I found something interesting. I'm sure you've all seen the childhood picture of Teach. What if I told you that in all the drawings Oda has made, and there are more than 100, Teach is the only one crying? Another character is Page 1, but that's more of a comical moment. We see Ulti running away with a spiked club while Page 1 has a bump on his head. Oda was simply showing a fun brother-sister relationship with that drawing, but Teach's situation is different. He's sitting alone and crying under the moon. Oda has drawn characters being sad as kids, but usually their clothes are torn or dirty to show they grew up in poverty, like Eustace Kid, Mihawk, Akainu, and so on. But Teach's clothes look normal, so we can speculate that Teach's biggest issue wasn't poverty. Another detail I noticed is that every character is consistent. They have the same habits or traits as children. Scratchman Apu liked music from the start and seemed fun. Eustace Kid was smiling and loved to build mechanical things. Garp was like Luffy, and we see him riding a beaten tiger. Even old Garp still acts that way. Hawkins loved to read tarot cards, and so on. The same goes for the villains. Look at Doflamingo, for example. He was evil from the start. From Kaido's childhood, it was clear he would never become a peaceful civilian. Big Mom had probably the safest childhood, but even her design, especially her teeth and eyes, showed us she would become unhinged. Same with Akainu. I could go on forever because Oda is amazingly detail-oriented, but when you look at Teach's childhood, he doesn't look like a future villain. He looks like a totally different person now. If you forgot everything you know about Blackbeard, you could even imagine him being one of the Straw Hats, someone Luffy saves like Usopp, Nami, or the others. Teach's childhood drawing being so different doesn't seem like a mistake to me, so let's move on to another hint. 28 years ago, at age 12, Teach encountered Whitebeard and his crew and asked to join them, a request Whitebeard granted. We know that his true purpose for joining the crew was to have a better chance at finding the fruit he wanted. Let me remind you that, no matter how strange it sounds, in many countries people don't even believe devil fruits exist, and yet Teach, at the age of 12, already wanted a specific devil fruit. We've seen many flashbacks, and it's clear that kids at that age don't usually think much about power. Usually they've had to survive some traumatic event. Yet there are exceptions, and Sanji is a perfect example. Teach learned about the Yami Yami no Mi through the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia, the same book Sanji also had as a child. But the fruit Sanji wanted was the Suke Suke no Mi, which grants invisibility. It was played as a joke during Thriller Bark that he wanted this fruit to sneak into the women's bath, but I believe the true reason was that he was treated so badly and he just wanted to disappear. It makes sense. Sanji and the other kids might want a devil fruit that would fix their problems or grant their desires. But why would Teach want the Yami Yami no Mi? If he wanted power or destruction, he could have chosen any other fruit, like Kizaru's Pika Pika no Mi or Whitebeard's Gura Gura no Mi. The list is endless. But no, he chose a devil fruit that can nullify other devil fruit powers, and he even memorized the shapes of all the devil fruits so he wouldn't make a mistake. Why would a 12-year-old kid want something like that? Or why was he so sure no one else in the world had already eaten it? Sanji's dream fruit, for example, had already been eaten by Absalom. And why would Teach spend 20 years chasing a dream he had at age 12? Of course, anything is possible, but both his childhood drawing and this specific goal raise a lot of questions for me. You've probably seen theories that Rocks is inside Teach's body, and there are many versions of it. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with that theory, this video isn't about that. It could be that Rocks' soul is still alive in Teach's body, and it could also be that Teach is just on his own but shares Rocks' goal. No, this video is about the idea that Laffitte was the one who raised Teach, told him to eat the Yami Yami no Mi, and gave him a step-by-step plan to become the king of the world, and I'll explain why. Let's start with Laffitte and then break down their actions step by step. As I mentioned, Laffitte is one of the most mysterious characters in One Piece. He's the only one from the Blackbeard pirates whose devil fruit powers we still don't know. He's also always been separated from his crew, and every time, he's doing something in Marijois. We know he has flying abilities, so he could reach Marijois. But the most interesting and astonishing feat for me is that no one noticed him. None of the Marie-Joie guards, and not even powerful characters like Sengoku, Kuma, Doflamingo, or especially Mihawk sensed his haki. What's even stranger is that, at that time, he had a bounty of only 42 million berries. Laffitte is based on a real-life pirate, Jean Laffitte. He was a French pirate, privateer, and slave trader. No one knows where or when he was born, and more interestingly, no one knows when or where Jean Laffitte died. Some even say that he faked his death and changed his name to Lorenzo Ferrer. I believe the same thing is happening in One Piece. I believe Laffitte is older than his known age of 41 and that he was present during Rocks' era. Surprisingly, from Teach's original crew, Laffitte is the only one who is older than Teach. The others aren't even close. I believe his questionable mime-like appearance is due to the fact that he hides his actual age and face. That's why, with his new look and lifestyle, he had earned a bounty of only 42 million berries, while he is far stronger. And his bounty during the Rocks era could have even been higher than 1 billion. Infiltrating Marie-Joie without even Mihawk noticing is one of the most underrated feats in One Piece. His Vivre card says that he is very loyal to Blackbeard, but when did Teach have time to gather a crew or deserve Laffitte's loyalty? He was on Whitebeard's ship for 20 years. That's because these two knew each other even before Teach joined Whitebeard. To put it simply, this is what I believe. Rocks D. Zebek walked so Blackbeard could run. Rocks knew a lot of taboo subjects and was very close to becoming the king of the world. We don't know everything about God Valley or the exact reason he failed to reach his goal, but until that point, he had gathered knowledge and tested certain things. Rocks had a backup plan. He also had a son, and Rocks transferred all of his knowledge to his son, Blackbeard, through Laffitte. The hints for this have been in front of us the whole time, and now I will show you every single one of them. Of course, we don't know the exact reason why Teach was crying as a kid, but if someone came up to you and told you that you had to live your life a specific way and follow a strict plan no matter how good or bad the plan and the goal are, you would cry too. Later, Teach became a villain because he enjoyed the power in darkness. He has the will of Davy Jones and Rocks after all, but as a kid, it was difficult. Someone else had decided his future for him. This is the exact opposite of freedom, the exact opposite of what Luffy is trying to achieve, to be the freest person in the world. While talking to Ace, Teach said he had memorized all the shapes of the devil fruits in the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia. For me, it sounds crazy for a 12-year-old boy to do that unless someone made him do it. Laffitte knew which 2 devil fruits were needed to become the king of the world. He learned it from Rocks and made Teach memorize and search for that fruit for 20 years. During that time, Laffitte stayed in the shadows and gathered a crew of Jesus Burgess, Van Augur, and Doc Q. Their plan began after Teach killed Thatch and stole the Yami Yami no Mi. Laffitte momentarily went to Marie-Joie and nominated Blackbeard himself for the position of a new Shichibukai in order to infiltrate Impel Down and get the strongest crew members possible. He didn't care about loyalty or friendship. Blackbeard's whole crew knows that they're together to achieve their personal goals. They're not friends. That's why the Blackbeard pirates are very similar to Rocks' crew. Laffitte, or maybe even Rocks himself, chose the shortest and most effective way to form the strongest crew. With good planning and shortcuts, Teach became a Yonko just 1 year after finding the Yami Yami no Mi. Now, Teach occupies Hachinosu, also known as Pirate Island, the same island where the Davy Bag fight originated and where the legendary Rocks pirates were formed. My point is this: I don't underestimate Teach, he's very smart. But this plan seems too perfect to have come from him alone. While talking to Ace, Teach also asked him to join his crew. He said, "Conquer the world with me. I've already planned how to do it." Clearly, the start of his plan was the Yami Yami no Mi, so there's no way that a 12-year-old Teach planned how to become the king of the world by himself. He knew exactly what devil fruit he had to eat. He knew what kind of crew he needed, and it seems he knows every step towards achieving his goal. To me, it's really unrealistic unless someone, in this case Laffitte, who lived during the Rocks era and saw everything firsthand, helped him. Why specifically the Yami Yami no Mi? After the reveal of the Gorosei and the Holy Knights, we saw that they have regeneration abilities. Most likely Imu does too. So I think it's possible that the Yami Yami no Mi is the only thing in the world that can cancel out their regeneration. That's why Rocks didn't fight Imu in the Flower Chamber. He knew that without the Yami Yami no Mi, Imu would just keep regenerating endlessly. It took Rocks time to figure that out, but Teach knew it since childhood and waited for the perfect opportunity for 20 20 years. In conclusion, Laffitte is way older than we think, and Rocks transferred all his knowledge to his son through Laffitte. But the biggest plot twist would be if Rocks didn't even know about this. What if Laffitte just observed Rocks' steps, kept his knowledge, and used Blackbeard as his will to make him the king of the world? Is Laffitte the true mastermind behind Blackbeard? Did he serve Rocks, or is he using Teach to finish what Rocks started? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.